Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Vince Gabriel Austria Galang from Subgroup 6, and we will present the SM Aura Premier MEP system. As we all know from the previous presentations of SM Aura Premier that it is located at the Bonifacio Global City, Taguig City, Philippines. It is a 127-meter high building with 29 floors, and it was designed by its architect, Arquitectonica. But for today's discussion, we will not present or focus on this kind of knowledge or this common knowledge of SM Aura Premier, but instead we will tackle the map system of SM Aura Premier. But first, what is this map system of SM Aura Premier? MEP system stands for Mechanical, Electrical, and Plumbing System. And to further explain these systems, here's Russell Dale Dumapilis.
Good day, everyone. My name is Russell Dimapilis, and I'm here to present the first part of our presentation about the SM Aura Premier. So, the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing engineering of SM Aura Premier is designed by a corporation named LM Camus Engineering. What is a MEP engineer? Basically, they are professional engineers that are tasked with the design and planning of projects in the field of mechanical, electrical, and plumbing practices. It also entails the creation of the MEP, MEP regulations, uh, inspection procedures, and evaluation tools. So, for the mechanical system of the SMR Premier, it comprises at least 14 Hyundai traction elevators and 19 Hyundai parallel escalators. So, the six of the Hyundai traction elevators are located in the mall itself, while the rest of the eight are located in the SM Aura office section. These elevators are rated capacity of 1,600 kilograms and it can carry up to 24 persons and with a max speed of 6 meter per second. So, what is a traction elevator? Traction elevators are one of the most common systems for a substantial number of lifts, also known as electric elevators. Excuse me. Rolling steel ropes are used to pull elevator cars up, a deeply grooved pulley known as a sheave in the industry. A counterweight has been also used to balance the car's weight. So, for security measures, the cables or the ropes are normally made up of multi-strand steel, which means that even if one of the strands breaks, the cable will still hold the vehic- will still be able to lift the vehicle up. Uh, for the pros and cons of the traction elevator, uh, the pros of traction elevator is it is more efficient, reliable, and require less space than the hydraulic lifts. And it is also slightly faster than hydraulic lifts, and it is suited for higher buildings or high buildings. On the other hand, the cons of the traction elevators are if you prefer to have your traction lift with a machine room, it can take a lot of space, but if not, it will not take a lot of space. So, additionally, it it is more expensive than hydraulic lifts because it has its extra speed and its energy efficiency. So, here's a video showing further information about traction elevators, and it will explain uh basically it will explain the elevator's main engine up to its safety mechanisms.
I'm Ryan Gabon, and I represent the mechanical system, the SMR Premier. The SMR Premier compromises at least 14 Hyundai traction elevators and 19 Hyundai parallel escalator in course arrangement, in which the 6 Hyundai traction elevators are located in the very mall, while the 8 remaining are located at the office section of SMR. Carries up to 24 people with a rated capacity of 1,600 kilograms with a top speed of 6 meters per second. Here are some photos and videos of the escalators in SM Aura. So for the characteristics of Hyundai escalator, the bias corner of the elevator is 30 degrees and rise height is up to 10,500 millimeters and rise speed is up to 0.5 meters per second. The carry capability of the escalator is up to 6,000 persons per hour. Next. In air conditioning, the SMR Premier has a centralized air conditioning system, which is also environmentally friendly material and technology for all heating and cooling processes, eliminating a piece of CFC's base refrigerant in the line with the DENR by scope of practice for refrigerator and air conditioning. Originally crafted and implanted in 2002, it sets the standards and practices for manufacturers, dealers, and sellers of refrigerator and air conditioners in the Philippines, with the goal of reducing the harmful environmental effects of refrigerator and air conditioning. So the SMR Premier is a large upscale shop and ACRE, air conditioning finish, and supplied all the fans and blowers, air handling units, fan coil units, and air diffusers and grills. Next. So these are the products used in the SMR. So the first is air diffuser. This air diffuser blows directly out of your ductwork and through a register or grill. It's either being incorrectly or pushed out or down. Once installed, an HVAC diffuser will cause the air to spread out evenly in multiple directions. So next is fan coil units. This is a standalone air system that's responsible for circulating present air in a small space. And for the fans and blowers, the fan is a machine used to move fluid or air. It is operated through a motor via electricity, which rotates the blades that are attached to a shaft. And the blowers is a machine to move air at a moderate pressure, or simply blowers are used for blowing air and gas. And lastly, the air handling units. This is commonly called an AHU. Is the composition of the element mounted in the large, accessible box-shaped units called modules, which house the appropriate ventilation requirements for purifying, air conditioning, or renewing the indoor air in a building or premises.
Hi again, everyone. Here we will tackle the electrical system of SM Aura Premier. SM Aura is a certified gold under the US Green Building Council Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design or LEED program. Pollution and waste are reduced from construction activities by controlling soil erosion, waterway sedimentation, and airborne dust generation. In this picture, we can see the score sheet that gave SM Aura Premier the gold under the US Green Building Council Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design or LEED program. And also, we can see that SM Aura Premier is not just for entertainment purposes only, but it also represents the healthy, highly efficient, and cost-saving green buildings that will surely help our mother nature to fight pollution. And for the next slide, here's Kim Kainet Panganiban.
Good morning. This is Kenneth Kim F. Panganiban of Group 6, reporting on SM Aura. In construction of SM Aura, a third of the production materials budget is allocated for building products that are either locally sourced or have high recycled content, in which manner the building will maintain superior indoor environmental quality through enhanced ventilation and the use of low-emitting materials. Because of this, the energy used is 19% lower, while water consumption is 30% lower than that of other buildings. Because of that, because of the high performance building enclosure and efficient equipment fixtures, SM brings limitless energy and unmatched magnetism into its design and retail mix, with a total gross floor area of 249,861 square meter. SM Aura Premier consists of a mall and office tower designed to stand out not only visually, but also with a well thought of architectural and operational highlights for the enjoyment of customers. Next. SM Aura's lighting designer is Bo Stever, lighting design. Its features are high windows above eye level, LED and CFL light bulbs, environmentally friendly materials and technology, and water-efficient fixture systems. Bose Stever lighting design has a unique design features, including high windows above eye level that uses natural light to illuminate company facilities, and the usage of LED and CFL light bulbs to further reduce electricity consumption. Environmentally friendly materials and technology for all heating and cooling processes are used in the structure. Water-efficient fixture systems to reduce potable water consumption, such as waterless urinals and faucet aerators. Next. Plumbing system. Pollution and waste management systems are planned for maximum efficiency. A water treatment facility to recycle water for non-potable use is in place. A massive green roof is designed to reduce the heat island effect in the structure, and international green standards are strictly followed to ensure the efficient use of energy and other resources. Wastewater treatment processes. Number 1, pretreatment. This removes outliers or large items from the wastewater. Number 2, grit removal. Wastewater that flows is adjusted to allow smaller particles collectively called as grit to separate from the wastewater. Number 3, primary treatment. Wastewater flow Wastewater flow rate is lessened to let even smaller particles settle and separate from wastewater that is called effluent. Number 4, secondary treatment. Remaining organic matter is broken down by chemicals or bacteria to finalize the water recycling process.
Good day. My name is Jamil Earl Boncales, and I will continue on the presentation on the plumbing system of SM Aura. The secondary treatment process of SM Aura's wastewater treatment facility utilizes units of sequence bioreactor. So what is sequence bioreactor? Sequence bioreactor is a method of treatment where several wastewater treatment processes occur in a sequence within a single tank. In the case of SM Aura, they have multiple units of sequence bioreactor. Therefore, the whole secondary treatment process occurs simultaneously within multiple tanks. Specific selected and effective bacteria species are used to treat used water. The process is completely free of emitting toxic and flammable gases and allows it to be constructed underground. The final product of the whole wastewater treatment process is the recycled water, which then can be used to cool the air conditioning systems and for the plants in the sky park. The whole process of recycling used water further reduces the structure's water consumption. All of the plumbing systems inside the SM Aura must be in accordance with the National Plumbing Code of the Philippines. Within this code, the required number of water closets, urinals and lavatories, and other fixtures and units that needs plumbing works. It depends on the structure's occupancy. For example, in the SM Aura, it depends. The fixtures are for example, for employees or public use. Within the plumbing code, also the required pipe sizes, pressure, drainage, discharge capacity, and standpipe systems, which will be discussed later at the fire safety systems. One of the few moments that the plumbing systems of SM Aura was highlighted was in 2013 when SM Aura cinema and walkway ceilings started leaking during heavy rains, which also caused the basement parking to be flooded. This particular event, this could be caused by a problem on SM Aura's storm drainage system, which may have been damaged or not maintained well. After the plumbing systems, we proceed to the fire safety systems. The fire safety systems was handled by the FL Figueroa and Associates. Since there's no specific details about SM Aura's fire safety system online, we'll just discuss the basic requirements or specific requirements for retail malls like SM Aura. So what is fire safety systems? Fire safety systems is the integrated and multidisciplinary approach to analyze the building's components and install systems to protect the structure and its occupants from possible fire hazards. All structures and systems in relation to fire safety must be in accordance to the Fire Code of the Philippines as well as the Building Code of the Philippines. Both Fire Code and the Building Code has almost the same requirements for the fire safety systems, but obviously the Fire Code has more specific details and requirements. So first, let's discuss about the means of egress part of the fire safety systems. According to the National Building Code, Section 1207, every exit shall discharge into a public way, exit court, or exit passageway. Every exit court then shall discharge into a public way or an exit passageway. So for example, in SM Aura, in the mall part, the main entrance is also the main exit. It's the most accessible and open means of egress. So in this part, the dumbbell layout or the linear layout design kind of help in making the main entrance the main means of egress and also the main exit. The second picture we can see, this is the office part of SM Aura. We can see that these stairs are also nearby the elevators. One of the reasons that I think the stairs are near the elevators is that when an emergency or, for example, when a fire occurs, some of the people may try to use the elevator as a means of egress, but as we know, it's not the best way to get out of the building quickly, and it's not really the safest. So it's good to have the stairs beside or nearby the elevator so that they can go straight down the building and go outside. This is also evident in UST, in buildings in UST like the BGPAP building, and I'm not sure if it's like that also in Frasati building, but yeah, we can see this kind of design there, that the stairs are also nearby the elevators. One of the requirements in the fire code also states that the stairs, this kind of stairs, the for means of egress, must be continuous from top floor to ground floor. Another part of the National Building Code, Section 1207, states that the exit shall be illuminated at any time the building is occupied. We're all familiar in this. The fire exit signs, the luminescent or illuminated fire exit signs can be seen in the walkways or in the actual fire exit. We can always see those green signs that says fire exit, those symbols, the guy running. Next, for the fire extinguishing and alarm systems, this can be seen in the National Building Code, Section 1212. It's titled Fire Extinguishing Systems. Within the section is the required number, locations, and the kind of extinguisher needed for the structure. It is important to know the different kinds of extinguishers and if the structure needs that kind of extinguisher, because there are also different kinds of fire. So when there are different kinds of fire, you also need different kinds of extinguisher. It's not just water that can put out fire. Like for example, for chemical fire, water is not enough, or it may even aggravate the fire, the chemical fire. Fire alarm should be installed to notify occupants at fire stations in case of fire. As you can see in not just in SM Aura but in other malls, actually it should be in all malls. There are these small rectangle cases of in color red nearby the fire hose that says break in case of fire. Then there's a button inside it where you can push so that the alarm could be triggered. Yun. And sprinklers and smoke detectors are also installed in all stores in the mall and the office. For this part, I think it's obvious that we can see the sprinklers and smoke detectors everywhere in malls and in other kinds of structures. Fire extinguishers are also required in every store, and it should be visible, accessible, and ready to use all the time. For large structures like SM Aura, wet and dry standpipes are required and must be located near emergency stairs. Standpipes, these are the ones that you can see with hoses in malls that also says break in case of fire. Those can be used by the firefighters when there's a fire. They can use the hoses, the standpipes to have access to water and other chemicals. So there are two kinds of standpipes. There is wet and dry standpipes. The building code and the fire code also requires both wet and dry depending on the structure. If it's in the building code, it says if it is above, I think 3 or 4 stories. If the structure is above 3 or 4 stories, it is required to have wet and dry standpipes. For SM Aura, it's obvious we need to use both. So what's the difference between wet and dry standpipes? Wet standpipes, as the name says, it is filled with pressurized water. It's wet and comes with a hose that can be used by occupants. The hose is there with the required length so that common occupants like us can also use the water coming out from it. Then dry standpipes are the standpipes which are not filled with water until needed. This kind of standpipes are only used by firefighters because you need a hose. You need to attach a hose to it. Like it's the small openings. It has a cap, but it has also openings in the valve that you can see at the side of the wet standpipe. Both standpipes must also be labeled for easy identification and use in case of emergencies. In SM Aura, I think it's not labeled as wet and dry standpipes, but it is labeled as for emergency use and for the firefighters to attach their hoses on. One more thing about the reason that standpipes are near the exits, the fire exits and the means of egress is that for the firefighters to access it easily. Like when there's a fire, the firemen will access the different levels of, for example, SM Aura through its fire exits. From ground floor, they go up from the fire exits. And it's important to have those standpipes near the stairs so that you can easily find it and attach their hoses. So that's it for the subgroup 6. Thank you so much for listening of our presentation of SM Aura's MEPF systems. Thank you. God bless.